This is so cool, guys. I've just found a black-bellied bustard that is doing its display call. Listen to this. Okay, so I have just gotten back from a weekend in Kruger that was a little bit chaotic, to say the least. If you want to watch the vlog, I'll link it here. It rained a lot and I almost didn't get home. But now I'm home, safe and sound, and I'm backing up my photos. And I thought maybe I'll take you guys through a little tutorial of how I edit one of the photos from this weekend. Before we jump into this, I do want to mention as well that I do have a full Lightroom editing course designed for wildlife photography specifically on my website. So you can check that out on the link below if you want to learn more about wildlife photography and editing your wildlife photos in Adobe Lightroom. Okay, then let's get started. First of all, I want to crop this photo and definitely want to straighten it like this. And important for me is to still include the little termite mound that the bustard is standing on because I really like that feature. So something like that, but then I do think I want to crop down the sky a little bit. It's a little bit unnecessary to have all of that at the top there. So getting a crop like this looks nice to me. Often when I look at the photo like this, I sometimes see that it doesn't look completely straight or there's something that's off. So then I just go back and correct that. And sometimes I just go back and forth like this a little bit. Something like that I think looks good. And then next up, I do want to check the white balance. I usually start with auto and just see what that does, but that looks a bit green to me. So I'm going to bring up the pink a little bit and maybe bring down the temperature slightly. Then moving on to the tones, I want to bring down the highlights a bit because I want to get more color out of the sky there. And then I definitely want to bring up the shadows to bring out more detail here from the bird and the beautiful grass. And then I just want to get a correct white point. I don't think we have anything that's true white here, so it'll be a little bit like that. And then the correct black point somewhere there. Then we'll add some contrast with the tone curve here. I like to just start on the medium contrast and then play around from there. And then playing around with the color mixer, I'll usually see where in the photo there is these different colors and then take it from there. And simply just look at what looks nice, what I like in the photo, what I want to bring out, what I don't like in the photo, and so on. See if we bring down the orange a little bit, we'll bring more of that color out in the sky there, and then maybe brighten the green slightly. Same thing with the blue, something like that. Then I usually skip color grading for now and actually want to go down to the calibration, and usually bringing up the saturation in the blue brings out the colors very nicely in a quite a natural way that doesn't look oversaturated or fake. Going back to the color mixer, I feel like we are getting a little bit of a breakage here in the background from the different colors. So I just want to check what is doing that and see how we can fix it, because I don't like that at all. No, I think we are looking at the luminance. Yeah, it's probably because of the orange. So then let's bring it back somewhere there. That's better. Then now moving on to the color grading, I want to add a little bit of a blue tint to the shadows and definitely quite a lot of beige orange tint to the highlights to really bring out that beautiful sunset tones. I usually just start with this preset as a good starting point and then play around from there. So I'll add this blue here and then do the same with the highlights, but add some beige. Definitely bring that up quite a lot. I want that golden tone in the sky there in the background. The blue is looking a little bit too much for me, so I'll bring that down. Then we can bring down the luminance in the blue a little bit to create a nice contrast. Maybe bringing up the luminance in the beige looks nice. And then we'll play around with the blending and the balance just to see what looks good. And definitely want to bring it a little bit more towards the orange because I want that golden tone out of the sky. So bringing the balance towards that. And just with those simple tricks with the color grading here, we've really brought out those golden tones in the sky and enhanced that sunset there. Then moving on to the masking tools, I want to select my subject because I feel like we're losing a little bit detail there. I want to bring my subject out a bit more. So bring up the exposure slightly, a little bit of the shadows. That looks a lot better. And then I like to darken the bottom of my photos because naturally when people look at photos, we as humans, we just like the bottom to be dark for some reason. It just makes us feel a bit more at ease. We just like that as a look. So I always darken the bottom of my photos. I just find that it makes it look a little bit more balanced and more natural. So I'm doing that. And then we'll brighten the top a little bit for the same effect. I'm thinking I'll maybe also just create a radial gradient like this, make it a little bit smaller though, and we'll bring up the exposure slightly, and then I'll duplicate it and invert that, maybe make it a bit bigger, and bring down the exposure to just create a natural vignette and something like that. I think that looks good. And there we go. There's the before and after. I feel like we've really brought out a lot more beautiful colors from the photo and made the bird stand out a lot more, and also enhanced that beautiful sunset that we had in the background. And there we go. I hope you found this helpful. And if you were completely lost with all the different tools that I was using now in Lightroom, then consider checking out my full editing course that goes through all the different tools in Lightroom, step by step, deep diving and showing you what they all do and how you can use them when editing your photos. And it also includes a lot more tutorials like this where I go through my step-to-step process with all different types of photos in different types of edit. So I'm sure you'll find it helpful. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.